Get ready for an amazing episode of HTM on the Line. I'm your host, Bryant Hawkins Sr., and today's show is going to be absolutely spectacular. We're thrilled to welcome back a familiar face, the incredibly talented Jennifer Chester, to discuss her latest masterpiece, Bella the BMET. Jennifer is here to give us an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at her creation. Bella the BMET isn't just winning hearts, it's paving the way for a monumental shift in how women and Black females are seen in the healthcare technology management industry. Buckle up, because this is going to be a groundbreaking discussion you do not want to miss. I'm here with Jennifer Chester, a returning guest, but I guess she's a new guest because she's returning with something that's been tearing up the internet these last few weeks. How you doing, Jennifer?
I am doing well, and I'm happy to be back.
Yes. I must say I'm glad to have you back, and I'll probably twist your arm to get you back. Not a hard twist, but but let's cut to the chase of why we're here. Of course, everyone knows about your new creation or your new passion, Bella the BMET.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. How did you come about that creative process?
So it's funny because it was a character that I've been thinking about for a long time. And I wasn't really sure how it was going to be received if I just put her out there. But I really was inspired when I went to MD Expo recently. All of the talk about, getting people interested in this field of work and shedding light on what we do every day, it just really made me understand that it was, we needed some representation. So I jumped out on a limb and I, went ahead and created the character and I put her out there.
Now, when you say we needed some representation, what are you speaking of?
Well, I'm speaking of basically how we're talking about the career field as a whole, for one, as, biomedical equipment technicians, we kind of, we're the silent heroes. And a lot of times our career field is not one that's on the forefront. And a lot of people don't know about it. We talk about all the time when I talk to other technicians or other people who come into the industry, it's always by happenstance. It's never because, well, not never, but sometimes it's very rarely because they decided as a child or they decided, as a young adult or as a teenager that they wanted to do this job. They kind of just tripped and fell upon it. And I wanted to kind of change that. I wanted to be as prominent as other things that we see.
Okay, great. Makes sense. Now, you also have a representation for the females of the industry. Was that part of the plan too when you said representation?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, I am always, on the girls rock side of things because of course I am a woman, I'm a girl. So I wanted to make sure females were represented as well. And also, in addition to that, Black females are represented as well. So all of it was very important to me. I think that, it's one of the things that kind of culminates the character that Bella is.
Now, Bella, how did you choose the name Bella? How did you develop this character?
It's funny because I went through several names. I kind of tried a couple of things. I even tried it with my own name, but I was like, I don't really like the ring. It doesn't sound good. And so funny story, I was teaching a group of girls at a spring break camp. And there were two sisters. One's name was Bella and the other one's name is Callie. And Bella really just stood out to me. So when her name came up, I was like, that one sounds really good. And it kind of stuck with me. And that's where Bella came from, because it just sounds so good. It has a ring to it.
I look at these pictures, man. I mean, they're so real life. They just come off the paper at you. Was any of these pictures inspired by real life people, or is just something you just dabbled with?
Well, I mean, it was definitely inspired, of course, by myself. Because I mean, when I was creating the images, it was just easier to use my own self as representation. But Bella, even though she looks like me, like I said, she's a representation of all of us in the field. So I do definitely take some notes from my own styling. So.
Okay. Now, is this something you've been doing of recent, or this something you've been creating for years? How long have you been creating characters in this form?
So within the last couple of years, I've been creating characters in this form. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I majored in art in college. I was majoring in graphic design. So I do have a background in art and working with computers in art. So it's just something that I've always had a passion for, and that I always kind of love to do as a secondary thing.
Okay, great. Now, let's see. Themes, and let's look at it from this aspect. What themes or messages do you hope to convey through these comic strips? Is there some type of particular themes or message you want to convey each time you produce one?
Absolutely. I feel like there's like two sides of the coin with the themes that I'm going with. On one side of it, I want Bella to be like an inspiration. I want it to be inspiring to the people that are already in the field, and just something to like laugh at and, I guess, I don't want to say make light of, but kind of like, add a little bit of fun to the career that we do every day. But I also want to use Bella, and I'm using the themes that I'm creating for children as well. Like I want them to be interesting, and I want them to be eye-catching, and I want them to be, fun for kids to want to be involved in reading, and, hopefully in the future, maybe want to be involved in the kind of activities that Bella does.
You mentioned humor, and how do you balance the humor aspect with, I guess I'll say, any serious undertones? I know you want a message, so how would you balance that humor along with being serious?
Honestly, I'm not really sure how I do it. When I put the stuff down on paper, like it's me. It's just it's how I talk. It's how I write. So I'm really just coming from a very transparent, very raw place that is just me. These are like just stories. A lot of times they're stories that I've either been through, heard about, been through.
The one you put out this morning about the PM party, that was perfectly blended, where it was some humor with it, but at the same time, you got the work done and you completed the task at hand. You got the equipment PM, then you did it in a way to where it was a lot of hard work involved, but you did it with humor. And I think that was that took some creativity, whether you might have realized it or not, to make that all fall in line.
Right.
So what has been, I guess we'll say, how has the response been from your audience?
Oh man, the response has been amazing. Like, I don't even know how to thank everybody for the wonderful, kind words that I've been receiving via messages and emails. I just couldn't expect a better response to the character. And yeah, so I just really, I mean, I've really been getting a great response.
Now, were there any reactions that surprised you?
I think even just so many positive reactions surprise me. Sometimes I just throw things out there and I don't get a reaction. So the fact that, you know, Bella got a positive response was just so great to me, because this character, the way I built it within myself, is so near and dear to me that it's, you know, very nice to know that other people feel the same way.
Yes, and I can tell you personally from being in this industry, when I first saw it, I was hooked on it. I said, wow, this is great. I love everything about this representation that you're presenting. And I'm more than sure everyone else that saw it probably had that same feeling at that same moment. So it's a good thing you're coming out with, and it's needed. I'll tell you that much. Are there any comic artists or anyone that have influenced your work or inspired you when you started creating Bella?
When I was a kid, me and my brother just we read comics all the time. We'd read the X-Men, you know, comic strips. We would read the Ninja Turtles comic strips. We would read all kinds of comic strips. And what's so interesting about it is now my kids, they read what they call graphic novels. And those are like big books of comic strips, but they're like regular characters in life. Like there's a book called Four Eyes, and it's just a young girl who's navigating through life. And, you know, she wears glasses, obviously, but it's written like a comic strip. It's a graphic novel. So I think that, you know, the inspiration comes from several different places. Because visually, I'm constantly seeing it with my children's books, and then also in my past with my own love for the comic books. So, I mean, I use the inspiration from everywhere.
Where do you see Bella the BMET going in the future? Any exciting developments or expansions in the works?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So in the works right now, I am working on a children's book. It is called Bella's Big Fix: The Story of a Smart Girl and Her Tools. So that is coming soon. I have not finished having it published, but it is on its way. I also have created, and this was actually by the response that I received. A lot of people have asked about, you know, Bella and how they can distribute it or pass it out to kids at career fairs and things like that. So what I have done is created a coloring/activity booklet for Bella. And it should be ready very soon. And I will be posting that information as soon as possible, as soon as I can.
Oh, that's exciting. Wow. Now, since you said posting, do you have a website that they can go to find information about Bella, or is it your LinkedIn? How can people find more information about Bella?
So currently, since I just started it, I'm still working on building the pages specifically for Bella, but you can follow me on LinkedIn for sure. I will be posting as much as I can about Bella. I also have a specific Bella the BMET Instagram page now. So that is dedicated just to Bella. If you would like to follow on Instagram, and everything that's coming will be on there, as well as my website, which is www.nextgentechmom.org. On nextgentechmom.org, I do have a dedicated page just for Bella. You just have to click in the menu as the category, and you will see all of the links there to, like I said, eventually purchase the books and also to view the comics.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own comic strip? I mean, you're probably going to inspire someone because this is probably hitting worldwide. So somebody is sitting there getting inspired by what you're doing. What advice would you give someone who wants to start their own comic strip?
My advice to you is don't sit on it, just do it. Like I said, I sat on the character for a long time. I eventually decided that it was time to release, and the response has been amazing. And I feel like this is something that I should have put out a long time ago. So I feel like my advice to them would be to just do it. Sometimes you just have to throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
How do you interact with, I hate this, I mean, you might not want to call it this. How would you interact with your fans and incorporate their feedback into your work? Because, say, I'm a fan. So how do you interact with them and then turn around and use their feedback into your creative juices?
I am very open to feedback. I'm also open to stories. If anybody has a story that they want to share, I am very open to, send me your stories. Let me know these adventures that you go through every day out in the field. If you're in the field, like we had talked about before, one of the themes that I've really been thinking about is like, I've been inspired by Project Cure as well as the Mercy ships. So those are some things I'm thinking about incorporating within the comics. But Bella is ours. Bella is not just mine. It belongs to all of us. So I really would love if people have stories that they want to share, or if they want to inspire others with the stories that they've been through. I can, take those stories and make them ours through Bella.
I'm asking you this question too. Have you ever thought about, or are you already collaborating with other artists or comic creators?
I would love to do that as well. Since it's such a new thing, a new idea. I haven't had the time to reach out to anyone really, but I would love to do that. I would love to, add some different characters in there, or, put some together even, in a book or in a comic.
Yes, I know for one person, Douglas Redwine writes a lot of children's books. And of course, of Chase,
right?
Ollie the BMET. So that's just some names popping in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to do some things with them.
That's great. Now, I know you mentioned that you got a activity book coming out and a book, Bella's Big Fix.
Yeah.
Now, are there any other creations that may be in the works? Because I've had people even ask me if you have a baby doll in the works. Not to my knowledge, but I mean,
yeah.
That's just any other things you see maybe in the future coming about from Bella? Maybe some stickers or...
Yes, definitely. I'm working on it. I definitely have stickers already in the works. I created some and had them sent to my house, so they haven't arrived yet, but I'm going to see how they turn out. And then I want to share those with everybody, as well as somebody asked me about an action figure or a doll as well. And I'm starting to do the research. Like, I'm not sitting on it because I really want to make sure that, like I said, everybody is represented in this thing. And yeah, so I'm willing. If you guys have ideas, please send them over,
Now, I know you've been doing this for a short period of time. Well, not doing this, but Bella rather. Now, right. I know you say you've been putting a lot of hours into this. So has your style of art evolved since you started this comic strip?
Oh, yeah. Like we said earlier, like I said earlier, at first I thought that, I've done composite photography and everything. And it kind of is one of those things that eventually, after doing it for years, it's not, it's not as difficult for me anymore. I can pop out an image pretty simply. But This is actually way more challenging than I anticipated. So I have had some challenges, and I've learned a lot since the beginning, since the creation of Bella. So,
All right. So, like you mentioned, it's a learning curve. So, what new skills or techniques have you learned since starting this project?
so this is actually like um the first time I've actually used the AI images to do almost like a composite photography kind of thing where I'm, putting pictures together and creating a scene and all of that. So it's kind of like learning the mix of telling a story with the comic, but also using my artistic skills to create that scene.
Do you have a favorite comic strip that you've created so far? And can you share the story behind it?
I do. So I haven't put it out yet, so I'm not going to tell the story. But I will say that one of my favorites was the PM Party comic strip. I couldn't wait to get that one out. And the reason why is because as technicians out in the field, we work together so much. I feel like we're none of us are out here doing it by ourselves. So it was so important for me to incorporate other people, or the teamwork that it takes to complete our jobs. And sometimes it can be so fun, like just having someone there with you. Sometimes we're out there by ourselves and we're just doing our thing. But when you're working with a fun team member, or you're working with somebody who you really enjoy their company, it can make it a really fun experience. So I thought that one was one of my tops.
Yes, that PM party was awesome. I love that one too. I've been in a few PM parties.
Right.
Now, I guess let's look at it from a cultural way. Do you think your comic strips have a role in reflecting or maybe influencing cultural
I
discussions?
do. I think that, like we talked about earlier with representation, it's just like representation matters. It matters so much to be able to see somebody or see a character, or, be involved with a character that looks like you, or that is like you. So culturally, it's just really important to bring to light that we exist, that we're out there, and also that, it's normal. It's a normal part of, life and what we do, that there are all kinds of people doing this job.
You're working in the same industry as Bella the
Yep.
BMET. Writer's block probably wouldn't be an issue, but how would you deal with a creative block if it came to you trying to think of new content?
Man. So I haven't really suffered from writer's block, like you said, because I'm constantly like remembering things, and things are just constantly coming to me about different stories, because I've been in the industry for quite a while, or something close to it. So but I think that if I ever did encounter the writer's block, like I stated earlier, I really feel like there's always a story to be told within this industry. So even the reaching out to interview other people, or to just hear other people's stories, it's like I said, it's important. Since Bella is us, I want to make sure to incorporate not only my experiences, but the experiences of other people that are also in this industry.
Absolutely. If you ever get writer's block, give me a
You
call,
got
man.
stories.
I got stories, and I guarantee you can you can go to any MD Expo, Amy, and just talk to people,
Absolutely.
and you'll get some stories. Trust me, I could turn you on to some people who got tons of stories to share with you if you run into writer's block. But I mean, you're a long way from that
Right.
right now. What kind of legacy do you hope to leave with Bella the B-Man?
So my personal motto, and it's been my personal motto since I was in college, I was maybe 19 years old, is aspire to inspire before you expire. So I think that a major part that I have tried to incorporate with Bella is just, I hope that it's a means to inspire people, whether it be somebody who's in the job and having a tough time, or in the job and loving the job, but just loving to see somebody that represents them, or a character that represents them, or a child that might be interested, that like me just loves to tinker and play with tools, or and is looking for that outlet, or looking for that place where they belong in the career world. So my whole motto as a person is to make sure that I'm inspiring someone. So that's really what I'm looking to do with Bella.
Man, you kind of answered my next question without me even asking it. Because I was going to ask you, what would be your dream scenario? What would your dream scenario be like for your comic strip in the next few years? Well, you kind of already touched on it, but
I do have aspirations still. One of the things that I want to start working on is, like I said earlier, my kids, they read a lot of like little graphic novels just for fun, the comic strip kind. Even though I do, like I said, have the children's book that's coming out, and then also the activity and coloring book, I think that I would love to do like a graphic novel with Bella, to, appeal to the older kids, the kids that are above 8 years old. So that is something that I'm aspiring to do in the future. And also, I just hope, like I said, I hope that it leaves a legacy, not only for myself, but for this entire industry, that we're the silent heroes in healthcare.
Yes, great, man. Every time you talk, another question pops in my head. I keep now. This is more like a personal question. Yeah. How has working on Bella the BMET impacted you personally and professionally? Personally first.
So, personally, I think that through Bella, it has given me like a confidence boost almost, especially, like I said, with all of the positive responses from Bella. It almost is like a reassurance, or a push for me, saying that you're moving in the right direction. So I think personally, is definitely kind of, like I said, I can have a lot of self-doubt sometimes, and I think that this has been a serious confidence boost for myself. For me professionally, this is also, I guess this can also count as personal, but it shows how people feel the same, or that they relate to me. And I think that when you're in an industry where you feel like you belong, and that you feel like the people around you are, we're all on the kind of on the same wavelength, and we have real feelings, and that we have commonalities. I think that really has improved my mindset and my involvement in the career.
Now, I'll tell you this, how it's made an impact on me. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't think a comic strip can do something for someone who's been in the industry a while, but just the energy that comes from it is sometimes overwhelming, because it's great information, and it almost like re-sparks the fire, even though I don't need no spark at the moment, but it gives me more excitement to do what I'm doing, because you see someone coming into the industry, even though you're not new, you could be new to someone else. Right. And when we see the energy that you're putting into it, it inspires individuals to go to work with a little pep in their step.
I love that. I love that.
They see that you're doing the same thing we're doing. And so that's one way I think it can impact someone professionally, because they say, man, you know, because all I be hearing from people is Jennifer's on fire, man. She's doing it. She's killing it. And then Bella comes. They were saying that before Bella.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, so now when you presented at MD Expo, everyone loved your presentation about the memoir and mistakes. I might be saying it wrong, but you know what I'm saying about you mentioned how it's okay to make mistakes. So that was great. And then after that, you hit us with this. And it just shows that you have a lot of passion for this industry. And that's the point, or that's the part that's impacting people professionally. And I'm going to show it's impacting you also, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be doing this.
Right. Absolutely.
So I appreciate your efforts. Now, in conclusion, as we bring this conversation to a close, I'd love for you to leave us with some inspiring thoughts about what inspires you to keep creating every day, because I know you're probably creating every day.
I am. I'm creating right now. You just don't know it. So what inspires me to keep pressing forward with Bella is just the hope that not only that I inspire the people that are in the field every day, like I said, but I also want to inspire the next generation, because it's so important that we bring light to our industry and just get them excited about what the possibilities are and let them know that this is a viable industry for them. And this is something that it could be very fun, very exciting, and can just be a really good option.
Great. Well said. Jennifer, I appreciate you coming on. I know it was last minute, but I just had to get you on here because your story needed to be told. And I think everyone got a better understanding behind the Bella the BMET comic strip. And I salute you. And if anything I can do to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, because I'm probably one of your biggest fans when it comes to this Bella the BMET.
Well,
so
I'm also a fan of yours. So, you know.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Jennifer's work with Bella the BMET is more than a passion project. It's a powerful promoter for cultural discussions and transformative change in the HTM industry. This episode has showed the importance of representation, storytelling, and connection, showcasing how one character can impact an entire HTM community. As we close, we encourage you to share Bella the BMET inspiring story and spark meaningful conversations that drive change in the HTM industry. Until next time, y'all be safe out there.